Okay. Hello DIY friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Danie, your friendly neighborhood DIYer. I am terrified for this episode because it is another Thrift Lift challenge. Kind of hoping that words can come up over top of me so I don't have to say that. Okay. Thrift Lift challenge. So I decided to do the challenge again, and this time I'm doing it with my friend Sam, widely known as the DIY Huntress. I love Sam. If you're not familiar with her channel, she is the real DIY deal, folks. She does DIY woodworking and home improvement videos. The thing she builds is beyond measurable, beyond talented, and just beyond creative. She inspires me every day and literally is just one of the most genuine human beings I've ever met. So I picked thrifted items I had in my space. She picked unique thrifted items in her space. We put them in boxes, sent them to each other, and at the end of this video, we are going to reveal what we were able to recreate with each other's items. And I can tell you, she's gonna be very mad at me. So excited to see what she does with the items I sent her because I've had them forever and had no idea what to do with them. My reaction to her flipped items will be on her video, and her reaction of my flipped items will be on my video, so make sure you head over to her channel after this video. I've linked it down below so you can see the full story. So without further ado, let's get started on this flipping video. Editor, roll the tape. Boop. I just did the one thing I didn't want to do. Here are the rules to this flip thrift challenge. 1. Items must be from your home. 2. Every item / material in the box must be used. 3. Items can be used to create several DIY flips. 4. Extra material can be used to complete your flips. Okay, DIY friends, coming at you from the past because these items needed to be sent out quite early so that we can make this video work. So I have my items together that I'm sending to Sam. I am so excited for this because I ended up getting this item through kind of like a bag of things that I bought for $30 that were like ex-Amazon returnables. I just thought it would be fun to see what you got in it. A lot of garbage, but one thing that I did get was this bike seat, and ironically, it has the initials SR on it, which actually then can stand for Sam Raimonde. So I was like, okay, this is meant to be. So that's one item. The next item is this round wood frame. I picked this up for $2.99 from the thrift store a long time ago. Loved the shape, thought it could turn into something cool. So we'll see what she comes up with. And the last thing, which is the most fun, so I have this fabric. It's like a velvet, bright blue fabric. This is very outside Sam's comfort zone because she normally goes for, you know, earthy tones. I keep petting it because it's so soft.
He's so fluffy, I'm gonna die.
I'm pretty sure it was like a curtain of some sort. Please don't hate me, Sam. So these are the 3 items I'm sending Sam. I am also including a letter to Sam, which if you want to find out what it says, you'll have to head over to her channel to find out, because I also included a few Canadian classics in this box that she'll get a good laugh over. So head over to her channel after you watch this video to find out what she does with these items, what's in this letter, and what's in the box. Okay, it's officially, oh, I hope there's something breakable in that. All right, so let's find out what is in the box. My dearest Danie, thank you for letting me send you some of my junk. I hope we can still be friends after you see what is in this box. So much love for you, your friend from Long Island. She literally spelled out Long Island. P.S. Good luck. First of all, Sam, you know I love you. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6. 6 packs of item in the box. We have some cork. There we go. Oh, and it's got a self-adhesive on the back. Look at that. Love me some cork. That sounds weird. Next, we have 4 feet. 4 wood feet. Wait a second. Okay. What? Okay, we're gonna get to that in a minute. She sent me some of her wood that she epoxied. Guys, I can't do anything to that. There's like, I can't. This has gotta just go on my wall. It's so beautiful. But there seems to be a theme because, let me show you the last item in this box. Yep. Yep. It kind of looks like a brain, I'm not gonna lie. But what this looks like is some kind of coral reef piece. Wow, well, I knew this would be challenging, but yep. Let's see here. We have some cork, we have some wood feet, and we have some coral reef piece. Cool, 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 cool. I'm gonna have to call her, and I'm gonna have to stop eating these. Oh God.
So basically I called Sam after I opened the box, but the audio didn't carry through, my bad. So I'm going to quickly sum this call up. I was like, why did you send me all these Sour Patch Kids? And then she was like, yum, 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 love my coffee. That looks like it came from a questionable corner store. And these Sour Patch Kids made great packaging, true dat. And then I go to explain WTF about the coral piece, where then Sam proceeds to tell me that it was given to her by an epoxy company. It was an imprint of a coral piece, and now it's mine. Great. Then her dad showed up, basically said, good luck. Thanks, Dad. And she told me the beautiful beach epoxy wood was a gift, a peace offering for sending me a coral resin, whatever it was. Okay, and now we're all cut up. I'm looking for an idea. Do we have one? Do we have one?
I am so not a drummer. Did some brainstorming and I figured out what I want to create is something kind of weird but fun, and it'll be something that I think we can put into like that creative beast category. So let me explain to you guys what I want to do. This, when I saw it, I was like, it looks like a brain. It automatically, can't see past it, looks like a brain to me. How cool would it be to create an art piece that has a brain on the top and then little like thought bubbles and a switch underneath it and then a light bulb. So when you have a bright idea, you flick the switch and the light bulb turns on, right? So I did a sketch of the drawing. This is what it looks like here. So as you can see, some kind of creative idea at the top. We have the brain, which I thought might be kind of cool to do half the brain just painted normally and then do the other half of the brain like kind of multicolored, because you know you have your left side, right side. So playing off those two sides and doing kind of like a cool contrast that way. We'll use the cork as the backdrop that I think I'm gonna paint black, but I like that it has a bit of texture, so I think it'll be nice. What I'm gonna use the feet for, I actually wanna put this onto my pegboard. And when I realized that the little screws in behind this actually go into the pegboard perfectly, I was like, okay, there's an idea there. Basically, I wanna cut this in half, attach it to the back of the frame, and if it's cut in half, you'll still have a little bit of a gap behind it to be able to put your electronics in there, and then I'll close it up.
Okay friends, just cutting in here quickly, I definitely didn't end up using the blocks to build this project. I came up with new DIYs, so stay tuned to later in the episode.
Now we're on the same wavelength. So I say we do some kind of cool art piece, you know?
So I'll see you tomorrow. To begin my interactive art piece, I had my coral brain, of course, this 11x14 wood frame I had kicking around, and a medium duty toggle switch.
I think this switch is so cool. Hey guys, like how fun is this? It's just so satisfying, you know? Just a personal thought.
And of course, last we needed a light. I had this old vanity mirror light kit I had sourced from Amazon eons ago. And what's great, it comes with singular LED bulbs and a dimmer, which I thought would be great so that I could dim it down and use it on camera as an art piece without blowing out the bulb on screen. And it had all the electrical working, so it was a win-win.
These light bulbs are really satisfying too. Like if I was gonna create kind of like a weird creature that has two eyes, could you imagine like two of these eyeballs on me? And then I'm just like, hello, hello, hello. Let's move on.
So first things first, I wanted to swap out the pre-existing switch on the light to my new fancy toggle switch. This is a pretty easy step because we are dealing with a very basic AC electrical connection. Let me break this down in a simple way that hopefully makes sense to everyone who might find electrical intimidating. Essentially, in the most basic explanation, in an AC, which stands for alternating current connection, your plug has a hot, the black wire, and a neutral, the white wire. The electricity will run up the hot side. This is where our on-off switch will connect to turn on the light bulb. The electricity then leads through the neutral wire and voila. So once you kind of understand that, switching out things like a toggle switch can be very easy. However, I will say never second guess yourself and consult an electrician before playing with wires if you don't know what you're doing. Just safety first, everyone, and don't hurt yourself. So I removed the case around the original black switch, snipped off the old wire connection to that switch, and then used my wire cutters, removed that rubber casing that was protecting the wire so I could use this to wrap it around my new toggle switch and create that electrical connection. I then taped it off with electrical tape so that no wire was exposed, and voila! Once again, we got a working light but with a much fancier toggle switch. Moving on to the art portion of this piece, I sourced this 1/8" 24 by 24" MDF sheet that would create a nice structured back to my art piece. Using the original art sheet as my guide, I simply traced around this and then used a straight edge to score and break off the piece into the correct size. From there, using my thrift item number 1, I covered this sheet with my self-adhesive cork roll to give the background of my art some texture. I then mapped out where I wanted my brain, the switch, and the light to go and marked this off with a marker. Then I simply removed the cork and used a proper sized drill bit to create 2 holes for both my switch to fit through and my wires for my light.
Beautiful!
As a final step, I decided to paint the backdrop black, so using black spray paint, okay, that one ran out. Let's use this new can of black spray paint.
Probably a better color. I've literally never seen this happen before. Okay, let's move on to the next black.
So using the final spray can of black that I own, there we go, I sprayed the entire thing black and left it to dry.
Okay, so we are going to paint a brain. I don't know why that feels evil, it just does. So I pulled up a picture of a brain so that I have some kind of reference. And then I think kind of what I want to do to make this look cool is that I do want to cut the brain down the middle and then make one side super creative and the other side look very analytical, so just normal. So to do that, we are using this AIRBRUSH paint sprayer. This is the Maker X brand. I totally think airbrushes are worth investing in if you love to paint and you love like adding definition on things. To use a paint sprayer though, you do need a special type of paint. You can't just use regular acrylics or it'll clog it. What you need to do, you either need to get you either need to have an airbrush medium that kind of liquefies the regular acrylic paint, or you can buy actual airbrush paints. I have a ton of ready to pour acrylic paints. Now this is actually already really runny, but it's still a little too thick for what the airbrush needs. So I'm gonna use a little bit of this and a little bit of this together until I get that kind of milky consistency, and then we'll be ready to pour it in. So it looks like we kind of want to go a light pink off the start, and obviously because this is kind of like an art piece, we want to go a little bit more of like an art pop look. This bright bubblegum pink is going to be a nice base for our brain, so let's go ahead and get this ready. I'm gonna add a little bit of this, and let's see how our consistency looks here. Oh, that's perfect, okay.
Now that we are all set up, pouring my first bubblegum pink color into my airbrush, I simply covered the entire piece, making sure to get all that paint into the little nooks and crannies of that coral piece. This is exactly why the airbrush was great for this, because it just does such a great job getting into odd spaces like this. And I gotta say, it really started to get that brain shape once it went pink. Very exciting. Now, to create more definition, I then changed my airbrush color over to a pink magenta and sprayed a line down the middle of the brain to separate my left and right side of the brain. This would really help me define that inside cerebral cortex, or whatever it's called. I don't know. Someone out there will know. But I think I definitely nailed the look I was going for sure. Now for the fun part, to create the art explosion on the right side of the brain, I covered off the left side and started spraying bright, vibrant colors all over the piece. I eventually just found it easier to just use a dropper and just drop colors right on top. The pour acrylics were such a great medium for this because it was just liquidy enough to make it look a little runny but stay in places I wanted to go while still looking vibrant as ever.
Oh, I love it! Once we get it onto the actual mat, I'm gonna take some of these colors and kind of like how you see around here right now, how it's all like kind of oozing out. That's exactly what I want to happen on the board. So we're gonna kind of recreate this effect a little bit afterwards, but I think this is exactly the look I was going for. I'm so stoked. I just think, this is cool. Yes, yes, yes. With that said, I'm gonna clean all this stuff up, and then what we can start working on is the little sign at the top. And to do that, we're gonna be using the old Cricut. Ooh, fancy. Alrighty, so what I wanna do is on the frame, I wanna have letters that are gonna run on top of this and kind of pop. But what I wanted to say is a creative ideas? Creative idea, a creative thought, a creative idea. A creative idea, a creative thought, creative idea, a creative idea, creative idea, exclamation mark, creative idea, creative idea, creative idea. I mean, how many times can I say this over and over again? Creative idea, oh my god, I'm sure you guys are screaming at me, being like, it should be this, and I'm like, I know. Creative idea. Exclamation mark. Wow, finally landing on a saying, I opened up my Cricut design space and mapped out my letters and style to be cut onto my basswood, which is a wood type that the Cricut machines are able to cut with the proper wood blade. It is very cool, DIY friends. I set up my machine and let it do its thing. The Cricut Maker can pretty well cut any wood material that's less than 3/32 of an inch, or basically 2.4 millimeters thick. My gut tells me to make it bright pink, so maybe I should just make it a bright pink because it's my project and I do what I want. Now that I had my letters cut, I decided to paint them a beautiful bright magenta pink to pop against the black. While that was drying, I got all my hardware and lighting hooked up to my frame. Also, I should mention that behind the scenes, I made a decision to paint the tip of the toggle switch a bright pink using a product called Plasti Dip Blaze, which is a multi-purpose rubber coating spray. It's very cool and made a nice pop against the black, and because of the electrical elements I wanted to hide behind the frame, I needed to make the frame more boxed, so I took some 1/4-inch plywood I had in my she-shack, cut it into strips that were 1.5 inch thick, and then carefully nailed it around my wood frame. This is so freaking cool. Also, that toggle sound is so satisfying, am I right? As a last step, I sprayed the frame, attached my letters and my brain using my glue gun, and finished the piece off by adding the remaining splatter paint onto the right side of the brain that was splattering onto the frame, and I just think it looked D-O-P-E dope. And there we go, DIY friends, the coolest interactive art piece I've ever made. What a creative idea. Good morning. morning, DIY friends. So I am just packing some stuff up because I'm going on the move. To do what I want to do with these wood block pieces, I need a bandsaw and I need a belt sander, and I don't have either of those. But my friend Jess Herdfather, the shop that I use for some of my episodes, he's letting me borrow it for this morning just to get a couple cuts done and a couple things done, and then I'm gonna scoot back here and finish off these DIYs. So last night I did do a little sketch of all three of the pieces that we're building today, just to kind of give you guys some visuals of where we're going with some of the pieces. So let me show you. Here, this is the two blocks.
Just cutting in here because one thing I wanted to note was that I glued up 2 of the wood blocks the previous night so that I would be ready to sand today. So that's why you see them attached already. So we're gonna basically round it out on the belt sander, and then we're gonna stain it dark and then add the light bulb kit on the top, and then we kind of got a cool lamp. Then the second one, we're doing a cell phone and tablet holder. This is kind of the general shape that I'm going for and going to cut. So I think that'll be kind of cool. And then this one, we're doing a hanging window decor piece. So with that said, I'm gonna pack up some stuff and we're gonna go on the road and go start these DIYs. Let's do it. Okay friends, I made it down into the workshop. You guys know this space. We're gonna work on the decorative hanging wall piece. I have this Forstner bit. This is, what size is this? 2 1/8, so it's a big boy. You a big boy. And so what we're gonna do is use the drill press, and we're going to bore a hole out of the bottom of this to about 2 inches deep. Should be pretty easy. And then I'm gonna sand the edges down on this piece. So that's the first task, so let's get going. Yeah, so basically I did just as I said I was going to do. I bored a hole into the center of my block using the Forstner bit until I got real cocky and thought, well, I'll just remove more material from the sides. So I started doing that, and as I feared, didn't calculate the inward slant of the wood piece and blew through the sides really badly. I went too deep and I forgot that it's curved. And I blew right through it. And then I tried to go in on this side and then realized the same thing's just gonna happen. So anyways, essentially what did we learn here? We learned that, I should have just bored one hole and moved on. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens. Moving on from my defeat, I moved over to the bandsaw to cut out my cell phone and tablet holder. This was actually really tricky because of the angled shape of the foot, so I removed as much as I could, and then I went to remove the rest using my chisel when the entire thing just snapped in half. Yep, and there she goes. She has been split. Yeah, so I just persevered, removed the section I set out to actually remove, and then just glued it up together again. We're gonna let this glue up finish its job before I start sanding it. And, oh, I just did the one thing I didn't want to do. So I glued that up again and moved on to my lamp base, using the belt sander to round out those edges nicely, getting rid of that more geometric shape of it all. I also sanded down the cell phone holder as well when it dried. I gotta say it looked much better, thank goodness. I mean, she ain't too bad. I'm gonna have to fix up like sand inside here. I need to go home and just start hand sanding it. But I mean, it could have been worse, okay? So I'm gonna clean up here and hop in the car and then back to the DIY studio. So see you there. We are back in the DIY studio. Okay, I'm done. We have 2 projects and 1 failed. That's how I feel about that one. So to finish these pieces off, I opened up the she-shack and first recessed a hole into my light base so I could fit my light kit into it. And then I smoothed out any last imperfections using my orbital sander. Ta-da! Now, as a last step to my lamp, I decided I wanted to match all the natural wood pieces in the guest room, so I opted not to stain it dark, but instead used a Danish oil in the color Natural, which would give it a nice warm look while also providing a nice protective top coat. there we go, friends. How about that DIY lamp? This is so cute and simple. It really complements this moody space and leans into a more natural industrial look, which you all know that I love. I'm just simply in love with it. And of course, not to forget about the phone holder. To finish off this piece, I used my Dremel tool with a few different sander heads to smooth out the inside and any edges I didn't like, which I think did wonders to the piece. Now, as a finishing touch, I thought, why not use the material given to me in this challenge again? So I laid in the cork adhesive to the inside of the holder and cut away any parts I didn't want. It basically just made the whole thing much more grippy and gave it a bit of personality. Très cool. And look at that! What a fun little functional DIY to keep in the studio space for my phone while I'm DIYing, or have it beside my computer while I'm working. You can also fit a tablet on this or a workbook. It's very versatile.
Hello! A lovely face to see. How are you, darling?
How are you? Looking good.
Just fab, thank you. Okay.
I'm so excited to see what you turn my items into, and I'm like so nervous to show you what I turned your items into.
Okay, who wants to go first?
Shatna.
Oh, wow, okay. What do I have to, okay. What I was able to do with the items that you gave me was 3 different DIYs. It was supposed to be 4, but one was an absolute fail, so I threw it out.
It happens. Honestly, just wait.
I made a little cell phone holder with cork on the inside.
Wait, that's genius.
There's my dog, literally my cell phone background, my dog. So I figured, like, how great is that? Because you can put your phone, you can put it on your desk, you can put a tablet.
I literally would have like never thought of that ever for table legs. That is genius.
Okay, so then idea number 2 from the wood legs was I made myself a lamp.
Yes! Oh my god, wait, that's so good. Now I'm mad that I sent you those and didn't make my own lamp. Like, let's be real. It's so good. Like, I'm gonna go out and buy more legs to replace the ones I sent you to like make my own lamp, so thank you.
The last item, the coral resin piece, was a challenge.
Here's the thing, I have had that for a while, and as soon as I remembered I had it, I was like, if there's anyone who can do something cool with this, it's definitely Danie. So you're welcome, and maybe I'm just a little sorry, but like not really. What? What? Oh my god. Oh my god. That thing is so cool.
I thought that it looked like a brain, so I decided to make it an interactive art piece.
Okay, wait, that is so cool. That is so cool. Okay, so like the way your coral is like exploding, like my mind is blown. It's like I'm your coral right now. You like honestly crushed it. I'm like so nervous to show you my stuff now.
Stop it! I'm so excited. Okay.
This was so much fun. This was so much fun.
I actually love these challenges so much because it like forces you to make things that you never in a million years would have thought to make. So now that you have seen all of the items that I have DIY'd that you sent to me, to everybody on my channel, make sure you head over to this gal's channel, Miss Sam, the DIY Huntress, to go see what she DIY'd with my items sent.
It's gonna get weird.
Please walk me through this. DIY friends, thank you so much for watching another episode of Thrift Flip Challenge. This was such a fun collab. I love these. So you guys should let me know who you think I should do this with next in the comment section below. And let me know what you guys would have done with these things. What would you have done with that coral piece? I am so curious to know how other people would have creatively thought that process through. And let me know what you think of my items. Did you like them? As always, guys, stay positive, stay creative, and keep on DIYing. Bye-bye.